is Friday, September 11. Welcome to CGN News. Dr. Mohammed Ifran Ali, President of Guyana, is seeking assistance from the international community to address the West Coast Berbice murders and the ensuing unrest. In an address, he highlighted the horrendous and horrific acts that took place, the killing of 3 young men, and the criminality of the killings. Dr. Ali thanked the security forces for their work and will be reaching out to the British government to come to Guyana in support of the force's investigative capacity. President Ali's major security crisis started 2 Sundays ago when 2 teenage boys were viciously hacked to death while picking coconuts from their family coconut patch. Their bodies were found on the property of a neighboring coconut farmer. Peeled coconuts and a coconut peeling tool were found close by. Several men were taken into custody, including the owner of the coconut farm where the boys' bodies were found. The suspects have not been named. Amid growing protests, days later, the 17-year-old grandson of one of the accused was also found hacked to death. Crime Chief Wendell Blanham says the ongoing protests and roadblocks have prevented the police from properly investigating the murders. Effective today, September 11, the update on Jamaica's COVID-19 numbers will be provided by 10 a.m. each day, reflecting the verified numbers of the last 24 hours. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, said access to these will be provided through the ministry's website and social media platforms. Addressing a COVID conversation virtual press conference last evening, Dr. Tufton said the operational changes include the way in which at least some of the ministry's communication is handled. He said Jamaica is now in the community transmission phase of COVID-19, and this is the time when resources will have to be shifted. A black Democratic state lawmaker is challenging the appointment of a black Jamaican American woman, Renatha Francis, to the Florida Supreme Court. State Representative Geraldine Thompson accused Republican Governor Ron DeSantis of engaging in racial tokenism. In an online news conference on Thursday, Thompson said the governor chose Francis because she shares his conservative ideology, not because he is trying to achieve racial diversity. Francis, who was born in Jamaica, moved to the U.S. as an adult. She doesn't meet the constitutional requirement of being a Florida bar member for at least 10 years. The Supreme Court noted this 2 weeks ago when it ruled that DeSantis had exceeded his authority by appointing an ineligible candidate. The court, however, did not undo the appointment. Overseas now, flags are flying half-staff across the tri-state area today in remembrance of the thousands of lives lost to the terror attacks on September 11, 2001. The governors of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut announced the flag measures a day ahead of the National Remembrance Ceremony at Ground Zero, where Vice President Mike Pence is expected to be in attendance. Mayor Bill de Blasio will also be at Ground Zero Friday. CNN reports that the anniversary of 9/11 is a complicated occasion in a year when the U.S. grapples with a health crisis, searches its soul over racial injustice, and prepares to choose a leader to chart a path forward. Still, 9/11 families say it's important for the nation to pause and remember the hijacked plane attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people at the Trade Center, at the Pentagon, and near Shanksville on September 11, 2001. A George Washington University professor, Jessica Krug, has resigned following the admission that she lied about being black. Krug, who is Jewish, wrote a Medium post last week apologizing for building her life around a lie. During her time at the university, among the classes she taught were African history, Africa in the making of the Atlantic world, and African and the African diaspora. Krug said throughout her adult life she shunned her experience as a white Jewish child in suburban Kansas City under various assumed identities within a blackness that she had no right to claim. The university confirmed her resignation to students. The body of Julio Valdivia, a Mexican journalist, was found in the remote municipality, an estimated 60 miles from the capital Veracruz on Wednesday. Valdivia, who wrote about crime in the Gulf Coast state of Veracruz, was a staff member at El Mundo local newspaper. It is suspected that he might have been run over by a train, but that theory was ruled out by the prosecutor's office. His newspaper said he had covered a confrontation between police and suspected criminals the previous day. The upcoming United States political campaign is said to be targeted by hackers with ties to Russia, China, and Iran. According to information from Microsoft, they are attempting to snoop on people and groups involved with the U.S. 2020 presidential election. The Russian hackers who breached the 2016 Democratic campaign are again involved, the tech firm informed. Both President Donald Trump and Democrat Joe Biden's campaigns are in the cyber raiders' sights. A child aboard a Westjet airline without a mask saw the airline cancelling the flight from Calgary to Toronto. According to a Twitter post by the child's father, Safwan Chowdhury, he and his family had to endure the most horrific and dehumanizing treatment on board. He claimed that his wife was threatened with arrest and was to be forcibly removed unless his daughters, 3 years old and 19 months old, would wear a mask. The airline, in response, says the issue was not with the infant, who is below the age required to wear a mask, but with the 3-year-old who was eating before takeoff. The airline says it has a zero tolerance in place and the child had to wear her mask before takeoff. The family was eventually asked to leave the plane and subsequently all passengers were ordered to disembark. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.